Welcome back to Blue Jays Express. Bo Bichette will not return to the Toronto Blue Jays. That's the blunt, confident answer Harold Reynolds gave when Matt Vasgersian asked him live whether he believed Toronto had any real chance of bringing their star shortstop back. Reynolds didn't hesitate, didn't soften it, didn't leave room for hope. He simply said, "I'd say no," with a tone that immediately suggested he either knows something or sees a very clear pattern forming behind the scenes. Before we continue, hit like and subscribe to support the channel. Let's go Blue Jays. The question now is why Reynolds sounded so certain. And the last 24 hours have given us a glimpse into exactly why his answer wasn't just an opinion. It was a warning. First, Reynolds explained that the only reason Bichette would return is loyalty to the organization, but that he won't take a discount for that loyalty. That puts Toronto in a terrible negotiating position. If they want him back, they won't just need to match market value, they'll have to overpay. Not slightly, significantly. And according to multiple insiders, the Blue Jays were not prepared for that reality. Then Reynolds mentioned something huge that hasn't been talked about enough. Bichette returning in the World Series while still dealing with a leg injury. In his words, that decision made him money. It showed teams that Bo is the type of player who pushes through pain, who shows up in the biggest moments, who sacrifices for the team even at personal risk. Front offices saw that. Agents saw that. It immediately increased his market value. Ironically, it may have pushed him further away from Toronto, because the price attached to keeping him just jumped higher than the Blue Jays expected. In the past 24 hours, insiders have updated their stance, and the tone has shifted dramatically. One said Toronto is on the outside looking in. Another said the front office hasn't shown urgency. Several have suggested that multiple teams outside the AL East have already signaled interest. And through all of this, Toronto's front office has remained silent. No optimistic leaks, no messages saying conversations are ongoing, no reassurance to fans. When a team believes they're still in the race, they usually let that optimism out publicly. But right now the Jays are quiet. And that silence is louder than any statement. The relationship history between Bichette and the organization also resurfaced today. The arbitration battles were described as tense, even cold. Everything was professional, but never warm. And players don't forget arbitration. They don't forget when a team argues they're worth less than they believe. Those moments often come back during free agency, and they matter now more than ever. Bichette respects Toronto, but respect won't override market value. Loyalty will not override tens of millions of dollars on the table. What the market is projecting right now is clear. Bichette is expected to draw a long-term deal, potentially 7 or 8 years, with an AAV higher than originally estimated. Teams saw what he did in the postseason, and that changed everything. This is no longer a mild bidding situation. It's a full sweepstakes forming around him. And in sweepstakes, the team that hesitates loses. Toronto now faces a difficult internal dilemma. They know losing Bichette would anger the fan base and weaken the lineup. But they also know that committing superstar money to a shortstop with injury history and defensive inconsistency could limit them financially for years. They need pitching. They need another bat. They need depth. And if Bo's price climbs into the territory insiders expect, the Jays would have to rebuild their entire offseason plan around him. There is still a path for Bichette to return, but it is extremely narrow. Toronto would have to go all in, offer a massive deal, exceed their comfort zone, and beat every outside bid. But nothing coming out of the organization suggests they're preparing for that. Everything, from the silence to the insider's tone to Reynolds' confident statement, points in the same direction. The numbers simply don't favor Toronto. And one more thing insiders highlighted today. Despite multiple teams preparing to enter the bidding, Bichette's camp has shown zero urgency to speed up negotiations. That usually means one thing. They believe the market will only get stronger with time. And if his price keeps climbing, Toronto may be out of the race before it ever truly begins. Reynolds didn't say maybe. He didn't say it depends on the market. He said he will not be back. And with everything that has surfaced in the past 24 hours, it's hard to argue with him. If you want updates the moment they break, make sure you're subscribed. This situation is moving fast, and the Blue Jays offseason could change completely depending on what happens next with Bo Bichette.